All right, what's going on YouTube? What's up, X? Rate cuts today, volatile rate cuts. We're gonna just do a little watch party here. I don't think my volume works for you guys to watch this, but let's see. I'm gonna be listening to it. We'll just break it down. We'll watch the markets because I'm expecting some fireworks to pop off. Everyone's expecting this to be bullish. I will not be surprised if we see some serious volatility, guys. And we'll go into the charts here in just a minute. We'll give it a couple minutes for a few more of you guys to get in, and then we are gonna watch this together. Hey, what's up, Seb? Good to see you, man. Yeah, thank you, man. I'm gonna start doing the YouTubes. Decided to show me, dude, show everybody what's going down. But I'm excited. And we are going to, let's see how this plays out, guys. We're going to go over the charts here in just a minute. I'll give it a couple minutes for a lot more to get in here, and then we're going to break it all down, man, because it's going to be crazy today. If you're not inside of any positions, I would hold off right now. I would hold off because from what I'm going to be showing you guys, it goes both directions. A whip up to 118 and a whip down to 108, which is going to be our golden pocket. So let's give it a couple more minutes. FOMC starts. It's 11:33. So we got, what, 15 minutes, 18 minutes, 28 minutes, 27 minutes. Sorry, 27 minutes. And then let's break it down. And let's see if we can try to catch a little trade. Let's see if we can try to catch any of these trades. But if you're not in a trade from either the golden pocket that we gave in the Coliseum at 108s, 110s, or if you're not short from last night's stream at 117, I would be very, very, very cautious because let's give it a couple minutes. I'm going to go grab my water while you guys come on in. And if you're joining us on X, if you guys don't mind liking the stream, making your way over to YouTube, liking it as well. And then we are going to do some shout outs to zoomex, guys. We're going to go over our campaign that we're running, the specials that you guys get from the Coliseum. If you guys have any of your crypto needs, from spot trading, spot purchases, portfolios, futures, coin margin, you guys see me trade coin margin. And that's the only trade that I'm actually in right now. I'll show you guys my trade. Let's see here. I told myself if I was going to trade, it was just going to be with the coin margin. I have 12 Solana. We're up almost a half a Solana right now, but I don't know if I'm going to be taking any of these big trades with Tether. So, but I'll be right back, guys. All right, here we go. Let's rock and roll, guys. All right, let's go over the charts real quick so we can kind of maybe have an idea of what we should expect. Let's go to TradingView. Let's go out to a 2 hour. We can see right here, guys, that Bitcoin right now. Let's go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin had a very, very strong bounce at the golden pocket. If we just go out to the daily, we can see that this level right here was flipped into support. If we do pull a fib from our low to our all-time high, you can see this golden pocket, it came down exactly, and we have a bounce. We do not want to lose this golden pocket, guys. There is serious liquidity directly underneath this 107 right in here. And then also we have a large amount of liquidity sitting right here at this 118, 119. And if we do pull a fib from the high to the low, you can see it is decision time for Bitcoin. Either one, I expect we are so much closer to 118 than we are to the golden pocket down below at 107, 108. But I'm expecting today, I would not be surprised if we come up and we absolutely start taking out a lot of this liquidity all the way down. To be determined, because, man, we've just been stair-stepping up. It's been beautiful to watch Bitcoin. You have your stops here, here, and right underneath. And price action likes to hunt liquidity. Absolutely likes to hunt liquidity. So let's also look at the heat map and see if we can find some confluence on what I'm telling you guys. And we are on the heat map. We are on the heat map right now. And look at that, guys. We are finding the confluence. 117, 118. It cleans it out on the heat map. This is a huge fib retracement on the upside. And then let's zoom out to a 2-week. And we can see, guys, all the way down to 108. Just stacked liquidity on every one of these stops that I'm talking about. And what I mean by stops is, let's go back to TradingView. Everybody that longed this right here, if you longed this 114.5, where it's just kind of just been playing around, you have your stop directly underneath as a trader. If you longed anything down here, right at 109, 110, your stops are directly underneath. So when I say liquidity and stop hunts, this is the liquidity. If they close those positions, liquidate them, either liquidate or close out those stops. And that's what I'm expecting. We still have a huge CME gap at $92,000, which is going to be right down here at 92. We have a huge CME gap directly underneath this $92,000, which I think will eventually get filled after we have this the final rally at the end of this year. If we do end up seeing a bigger push, if 125 wasn't our high. But let's go back over here, and we're going to be listening to this. A 0.25 rate cut has already been determined. I mean, there's a 95, 96% chance that a rate cut is hit at 0.25. The only surprise would be is if he does a 0.5. I think that last night on this pullback, it was kind of priced in, but I do think that the entities and the whales are going to. Last time we had a big FOMC meeting, we pumped hard. And so it can go both ways. Let's just go here to a 1 hour, and look at this. We could see something like this and just a quick dump, man. That's what I'm expecting. Something up to 118, smash that liquidity up there, 118, and then we come back down. I would say, I mean, even if we hold the 108 and just scare the shit out of everybody, right here. Boom. We can absolutely see something like this. Look at these moves, guys. This can absolutely happen. This is 111 to 117 and then a quick retrace. This can absolutely happen in the next hour. So be prepared. If you're not in a trade, I told myself the only trades that I'm going to be getting into is coin margin. And here's my trade here. We're up another $200. We're going to let this just ride here. I'll get stopped out underneath here. We'll lose a Solana, but my goal for this trade was just going to be right back up to take out some of these shorters right up in here. 237, 236, and I'll close the trade. What do we make on that? 236. We'll make a 2.10 Solana, which is what, $500, almost $500. And let's go back. I hope you guys are having a good day. We are at the tail end. I believe that we are at the tail end of this rally. I think Bitcoin's got one more big, strong push up to that 150 mark. I originally said I thought Bitcoin would top out right around 129, and we hit 125 way too fast, so I'm adjusting. But I do think that if we look at Bitcoin dominance, that's another big thing for us here that we're seeing is Bitcoin dominance is coming down, guys. It is coming down. We came to a large support here, but I do think that if we take out 57%, then we have a good possibility of this thing just cascading. And let's just look at some because Bitcoin, I think, is pumping right now. There we go. My Solana trade is cooking, baby. We're up almost 2 SOL. I don't know. I think if I do take a trade during the stream, it's going to be a short. I think that I will be taking a short somewhere up here. This 118s. I'm excited, guys. Let's see what happens. Corey, yeah, Soul's juicy right now, man. I'm up $400. We're up a quick little there we go, baby. Let the madness begin. Woo! I feel like crazy Nick Neal, man. He's always so excited. He's either so excited or he's complaining. Good entertainment, baby. And thank you for joining me. I know there's a lot of different channels out there, guys. There's a lot of different channels to watch this shit. We're going to give it to you raw. I'm CryptoCrank if you're just joining us. I'm kind of known for my radical scalp method. I teach in the Coliseum. I have the Cranksters Trading Coliseum and the Gateway to the Coliseum, which is my my free channel. If you want to jump in through Instagram, you're more than welcome to join us. Surround yourself with other people that we're always talking about crypto. We're always talking about bettering life. I've had my channel since January 1st. We're slowly growing. We have partnerships with exchanges. Shout out to zoomex, guys. Because we're real traders. We are real traders. We're not influencers. We're traders first. If you want to join us on zoomex, we have tier 4 fees. Nobody is offering tier 4 fees. You don't need to trade $100 million in order to get tier 4. We've locked it in for you because we're traders above all, guys. We are a trading group. And when I say that we're scalpers, we understand that cryptocurrency is very, very volatile, but that volatile creates us a ton of money. So if a swing trade is available and we can get us out of some of these set and forgets, we'll take them. But a lot of my group here I see inside of the YouTube chat, you guys know, man, I'm talking about locking it in daily, getting your daily bread in and out and making sure that you're securing it, because a 50% pump today could be a 30% dump tomorrow. Looks like trade's cooking, man. We're up almost $500. I told you guys my my goal for this trade here. Right in here. Let's see though. Let's see how this plays out. And we do got a lot of guys joining us on X. I do appreciate it. Make sure to like the stream too, guys. We're going to be doing this. Let's see what happens. Get some pre-market pump. And again, guys, the only trade that I'm looking at right now is going to be on a Bitcoin short. We are much closer to, let's zoom out on this and let's go out to a daily. The only trade that I'm looking at, and again, how do we find where our next resistance point is going to be? Just pull a fib. Pull a fib from our top to our bottom, our all-time high to the support down at 107.4s, and you can see we have a golden pocket right above us. In this area right here, which is going to be up to 118.5, 118 even. And then we found some confluence on the heat map that this 118 right up in here really cleans, it just liquidates everybody. Everybody will get fucking wrecked if this thing just rips. Now we wait. Let's see here, guys. What's up with ETH? Let's look at ETH as well. Everything had this little surprise pump. Let's see if this thing turns around. See, this is the type of shit that I'm talking about, guys. This big pump and then a dump. I don't like this right here. If we don't get any follow through and this thing doesn't turn around, then I'm telling you, I think she's gonna start smashing all of this liquidity. Bam. Same thing with Bitcoin. I might need to just close this Solana trade, man. Time to close it was a couple minutes ago. Look at that. Let's see. It's we got 14 minutes. 14 minutes till the meeting. And last night we were talking to you guys to get prepared, you know, if you're in crypto and you have a crypto portfolio, to be all eyes on deck with your crypto portfolios. You know, one thing about crypto is you're your money manager. You need to learn how to rotate your money inside of your portfolios. You guys need to understand that euphoria can take over. Every single time we have these 100% days, 30% days, I promise you they're followed by a 15, 20% dip. You got to have expectations for your portfolios. We were talking about that last night, and be prepared. Be prepared for the next 90 days. We are, if a 4-year cycle sticks, November, December is the tail end of it, guys. Yeah, the meeting. What's up, Juan? The meeting, the decision is going to be in 15 minutes. We're going to see, and then he's obviously going to come out, and every trader, every analyst is waiting to see if he's going to be hawkish or dovish or what he's going to be saying for the future. Have a feeling he's probably going to say why he did he's going to say a 0.25 rate cut, and he's going to explain why he shouldn't be doing it and give some bullshit, even though everything's cooking right now. All-time highs in the stock market. Everything's just cooking. Let's go back over here to the Fed rate. But I'm ready to watch it trade. And again, I want to see some follow-through on Bitcoin. I want to see some follow-through on Bitcoin. I want to see this. You do not want to see this just wick up like this and then wick straight down. Otherwise, you're going to end up seeing some shit like way back here. Just like I was telling you guys. Let's go to Bitcoin real quick. Come on. Something crazy like this. Boom, boom. Yeah, when I say expectations too about your altcoins, I'm talking, Chainlink. When Chainlink starts getting into that $50 range, guys, that's our all-time high. I'd be saying take 70% off of the table. 70% off of the table. Yeah, what's up, EQ? First time coming in. I told you guys that I would start doing the YouTube, showing myself. We're gonna start doing crypto news. You guys are gonna continue to see my live trades, my live scalps. Excited to show you guys, man. Excited to blow up my channel. What's up, Kevin Barnes? What's up, Kev? But yeah, I'm working on some collabs with Discover Crypto, Kelly, Casper. Would love to go live with these guys. I think this Sunday I'm going live with Flopping Groper. I'm gonna be going live with him, just talking the markets, maybe doing some scalp and chills. And if you're on X, again, guys, I'm also known for doing these late night scalp and chills. We just get in and out of the market. I'll show you guys how I sync up these altcoins to Bitcoin. I'm a big proponent that Bitcoin in the altcoin market is one of our biggest indicators. Other than a bull market, if Bitcoin makes a 0.5 move, you're going to get a 2-3% move on your altcoins. And that's when I decided to take those trades. So I scalp only a handful of different altcoins to Bitcoin, and it's very, very easy. A lot of these guys that have been with me since January have turned, we got some killer testimonials where these guys have turned $1,000 into 50 grand, $1,000 into, $10,000. And it's just by literally syncing up your altcoins to Bitcoin and taking these scalps. Really, the crypto Coliseum, I call it the Coliseum because it's a battleground. Day trading is all about being right. It's not about money. The money comes, but it comes if you learn to be correct. Winning in a bull market is learning to be correct. Hope is not a strategy. Hope is not a strategy. And I encourage all of you guys, if you have expectations for your portfolio, look at past all-time highs. Understand that when we start getting into some of these price levels, it's time to start taking some of those chips off the table. Otherwise, you're hoping for a 2-3x on Chainlink. You're hoping for a $200,000 Bitcoin. Well, hope doesn't pay the bills. And I always tell everybody in the Coliseum, shoulda, coulda, woulda does not pay. It does not fucking pay. I'm excited. Let's see what's going on here with these trades. My trade right now, we're still up 400 bucks. Bitcoin is starting to retrace. If there's any coins that you guys want me to look at while we're waiting, we have 8 more minutes until the decision time, and I'm telling you, I think we're in for some surprises, baby. I think we're in for a surprise. Right now, Bitcoin, if you guys just go out to let's just clean up all of this chart real quick. You guys can see that Bitcoin on a 2-hour is stuck inside of this little range right here, and I have a feeling it is going to break. This guy right here. This is your Bitcoin range. We have been stuck in this range for almost 5 days between 114 holding and 117. Let's see what happens here, guys. Remember when I talk about liquidity and stop hunting? Shorts from the top, longs from the bottom. Boom, boom. Now, we are much closer to 118, 119. Man, I'm excited because hopefully this Solana trade that I'm in just absolutely cooks. I'm excited. Thank you again for joining me, guys. Thank you for joining me over on X. If you guys could like the, follow me on X. If you guys like the content, I will help you guys navigate through some of these markets. I'll show you guys exactly how me and the Cranksters and the Cranksters Coliseum, how we scalp, how we trade. One thing for sure it'll teach you is to dial in those emotions because, golly, you guys get it today. I don't know how many times I see people round tripping these trades. Fucking round tripping, baby. Up 3,000, down to closing your trade out for a negative 500 bucks. Shit's ass. I'm excited. Come on. And I do. I think, boom, come on. Here we go. We got 6 minutes. 6 minutes. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We got we're up 500 bucks on the Solana trade. I'm telling you, this thing's gonna end up, and I'm talking to you guys about round tripping. We want to see this bust right out of here. We're up almost $500. Let's see if we can make a couple grand. Lock it in. I'm telling you. Well, Solana is just like, Solana has bled out. Solana's been very strong. Same thing with BNB. I wouldn't be surprised if we take these out right here. All of these shorts. Look, we're already pumping. We're up 600. Let's see if this thing wicks all the way up to 242. What does 242 make us, man? 242. We'll make a quick 7 Solana. What's 7 Solana? I can't do the math right now. So 7.78 times, what is it, a $242? Quick 1,800 bucks on stream, baby. I'll take it. We got our boy Lou up 50 cents. It's not about the dollar amounts, dude. It's about being right. You know this, Lou. Excited, but we're up 600 bucks right now. Trade's cooking, guys. Get ready, X. We are in for some volatility, baby. 5 minutes. T-minus 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, we are about to see some winners, and we're about to see some losers. What do you guys think? You guys think we dump, we pump? Woo! I'm excited. Come on, baby. Get on up to 242. That'd be sweet. Actually, I might as well, just in case this thing fucking wicks, I might as well just set it up at 241. I'll just set it right there at 241. Actually, I don't know if we're going to get that high, so let's just do 239.40. What do we make at 239.40? 5.36. I'll take it. Kevin Barnes predicts pain, Mr. T. I'm going to set it right here in case this thing just wicks up. Who knows? Maybe we actually, on Solana, she might even get higher, but it's all contingent upon Bitcoin right now, guys. It is all contingent upon Biddy. She's cooking. Look at her go, guys. I might even just get stopped out. We might just make a quick sheesh, dude. Yeah, we're cooking. We're up 700. This thing's popping right now. Man, I expect a disgusting dump, dude. Will not be surprised if we dump. Three minutes, guys. Let's see what this sucker says. Woo! Where's Neil at? Where's Nick Neil to pump us up? Neil! You missed the soul trade, man. Yeah, it was. I jumped in the soul trade at the beginning of the stream. I jumped in. I told myself I'm only going to be trading with crypto. I wasn't going to risk any tether. Come on, Biddy. Look, Biddy's getting ready to go higher, guys. Biddy is getting ready to go higher. Let's see if we can get just a nasty wick up and then a nasty dump. I got my stop loss in, not a stop loss. I got a TP set. Make a quick $1,800. I'll take an $1,800 trade on a day like today. I am ready to take the short, though. I told you guys at the beginning of the stream, if we start smashing up into 118s, I'll take the short. And I don't have audio for you guys to hear this right here, but again, they're just going to do the decision, and then in 30 more minutes, then they'll start. Then he'll come out. Jerome Powell will come out and start talking about the decisions of what the FOMC is doing, why they did it, what they're seeing, and we want to see exactly how he's explaining it. Is he dovish? Is he hawkish? Does he think, the tariffs are going to getting ready to smash and we're going to have an inflation spike and that's why he's doing it? We want to see what he's going to say. The decision, I believe, is already made on the 0.25. Here we go, guys. Uno momento. We got 1 minute and this thing's getting ready to pop off. Here we go. Bitcoin's getting ready to take a shit. Let's see, dude. Oh, my God. Oh my God, it's fucking tanking hard. Woo. Let's see. There we go. There she goes. See, this is just crazy, man. I'm telling you, these guys are going to take full advantage of this. I'm setting a stop loss on this bad boy on this trade. We're going to lock in something because I'm not going to do this real quick. Here we go. Got our stop loss in place where I at least make something. I'm going to set it up high. That way I at least lock in $500. Woo. All right, I'm stopped out. I'm going to take it, guys. I'm going to close that bad boy out. I'm going to close that bad boy out. Crazy. Now I'm going to watch this shit and see what's going on because this is just volatile as can be. That's all right. We made a quick $400. The whales are taking full advantage of this right now. Oh, I tell you, these guys are just crushing people right now. I have a feeling we're going to be able to catch this short, you guys. And remember, on the purple box on my screen that you guys are seeing, this is the top right here. So again, we want to see them take out 118 right up in here, and then eventually smash these guys down here at this 114 200s. It can go both ways right now. So we'll crunch this in. We'll go out to like a 10-minute because we're going to be able to see either way. So here we go. We got this in direction here. I'm looking to short Bitcoin. I'm looking to short Bitcoin at 118s, 119s. And Solana just volatile, man. I closed that out for a couple $100, man. $400 or $500. That's, look at Solana's doing the same thing. This is nasty, nasty, nasty price action. Let's go to the 10-minute and let's just keep it right here, guys. This is what we want to see. And I might try to take the Solana short, especially if Bitcoin dumps. If Bitcoin dumps and we come all the way up here and Bitcoin just whips down, I'll take the Solana short as well. Try to make a few more SOL. Yeah, we just smacked a couple of SOL right there. That was $425, guys, on that short or on that long. And if you guys are just joining us over on X, thank you. My name's I'm CryptoCrank. We're going over the FOMC rate cuts. We're going to be going over the crypto market. We're waiting to see this insane volatility. At the beginning of the stream, we were talking about liquidity stop hunts. It's directly underneath us here at 114.4, and it's directly above us right in here at 117.800. If we go to the heat map, if you guys don't know what a heat map is, it's liquidations on the exchanges. We can see anything lit up on the bright yellow is where majority of the money is, and it goes directly up into that 118, cleanses them out, and right underneath us, underneath that 114, there goes Solana. Solana's pumping, man. Shook me out. I do not want to participate. I do not want to participate in that shit right now. There goes Biddy. Biddy's fighting right now. There you go, Lou. At least you locked it in, man. Today is super volatile, guys. I'm telling you, get in and out of these positions. Dude, I would not be sitting in these positions right now. We are going to have stop hunts and liquidity hunts on both sides today. Everybody is expecting the 0.25 rate cut dialed in already, and now it's up to the entities and the whales to scare the shit out of you on what they're going to be doing. You know, I told everybody today, if we go over here to X, we go to my X account, I told everybody the FOMC sets the tone for the markets. Expect volatility, but not certainty. Do not be certain that the market's going to pump just because we're getting a 0.25 rate cut. If you aren't confident in trading the news events, the most smartest move is to preserve capital. Sit back and watch. You will be entertained. All right. The best time to trade is going to be in a dedicated range for Bitcoin. Everything's going to be real subtle. And look at this, guys. And these guys, I would not be surprised if we come in and smash these 114.4s for sure. And again, we haven't moved. These guys are just gearing up for the big move right now. They are gearing up for the big move. Wouldn't it? I mean, man, this is sick. Yep, we got the 0.25. Now we're just waiting to see what hold on real quick. Let me fix this, guys. Fix this chair real quick. Here we go. All right. And again, during the press conference is gonna, that's when things are gonna get crazy. Right now, these guys are just, man, I'm glad I locked it in on Solana. Look at this. This is nasty, guys. Look at this Solana price action. Oh, man. Might take the long again if we come all the way back down here. I do think that I don't think that this moves over. And again, just taking these little scalps, guys. We scalped it here. We closed it here. Locked it in. I'm just watching the markets right now. Again, thanks for joining me over on X, guys. If you guys can like the, follow me on X, I'd greatly appreciate it. Follow me on X, greatly appreciate it. Same thing on YouTube. I think I'm probably the smallest YouTube X account that I have a lot of big people following. The crypto faces, the Discover Cryptos, the Trader Geo, Kelly, Jason Casper. Those dudes are awesome. They've just super supported me, and they're just awesome, man. But I'm ready to grow this channel with you guys, show you some of my strategies. And a lot of the things that I say too is like, there's a lot of good content. There's only a handful of good ones out there, guys, that are traders. There's only a handful that are out there that aren't chart fucking fairies, man, that are just never show you trades, never show you losses, never show you wins, real P&Ls, the whole 9 yards. There's only a handful of them out there that are legit. And definitely shout out to Jason Casper, Crypto Face, Trader Geo, a lot of those dudes. So if you guys could follow me on X, I'd greatly, greatly appreciate it. Bitcoin is not looking too good right now, but this can flip the script very, very fast. On a 10-minute, we can see, let's see what Market Cypher's telling us. 10-minute, we are deep into the red, but momentum is getting weak to the downside. 20-minute, we're still deep into the red. Momentum's tough. Momentum's strong. We think in the next 30 minutes, we are in for some serious liquidity. My best guess here, guys, is that we are going to smash all of these shorts right up in here. Boom. And then we're going to smash all the longs directly underneath. I think you're going to see a candle that is something nasty like this. Boom, boom. Something like this. And the thing that's very dangerous right now is that anybody that's long in this has stops directly underneath, and anybody that's short in this has stops directly. I mean, so you're going to see stop hunts. You're going to see you're going to see winners and losers here in the next 30 minutes. let's see what Chainlink's doing. Let's see if there's any other assets here that we could try to trade. I'm looking at Solana. Jeez, look at this nasty shit. Look at this nasty shit on Chainlink. Same thing. Whew. Now, one thing about Chainlink, guys, the reason why it stopped, this is directly at the bottom of this golden pocket. This is one of the calls that I was given here, guys. This is the 786. I'm sorry. Directly underneath is the 786. We were holding this this golden pocket. If you just pull your fibs from this low to this high, we were absolutely holding this. We just blasted through it. We're coming back, turning it into resistance. But let's see what happens here with Chainlink as well. And I'm almost positive. Look at this, guys. If we go here to gold, look at this. It's happening across all assets across the board. Look at gold. Look at this. This shit's out of control. This shit is out of control. Let's see what we can do real quick here, man. Press conference is in 15 minutes. Just text some of these guys real quick here. Guys want to jam out on some little tunes here? I'm listening in. Let's see what we got here, guys. Like I was telling you, this very, very volatile market right now. These nasty ass wicks that are happening. I am glad that I locked in the Solana trade, guys. Quick $400 on a day like this. No complaints on a quick $400 like this, man. I mean, look at Solana right here. I'll go back over to the exchange. Again, shout out to zoomex, guys. Shout out to zoomex. No other influencer or traders getting you tier 4 fees, guys. You guys got 0.00012 on the maker and 0.00027 on taker. Some of the lowest fees in the game, guys. If you need for your spot purchases, for your day trading, everything. I am glad that we locked this. Look at this, guys. Remember, this is exactly what I'm telling you about scalping. We were in from the bottom here, and we stopped right up at the top. Boom. Quick $400. We'll take it. Because this shit is out of control. And you can see here on Solana specifically, specifically, you can see here, here, here. Boom. Would not be surprised. And again, thank you guys for joining me over on X. We got a lot of you guys on X. We got 47 people on X, 11 on YouTube, a total of almost 60. Look at this nastiness right here, man. This drop. We need to get this bad boy up here. See if we can try to make $2,000 off of this move. Get the account back up to a nice big even number there. Here goes Biddy, man. Here goes Biddy. Remember, we're just going to leave it on the 10-minute because I think that both these are going to be taken here in the next, let's see here. We have another 12 minutes, 12 minutes till he talks. I think that we're going to see the liquidity down at 114.2 swiped as well as 118. I think we're in for something like that. Boom, boom. Or down first and then up and then back into this range. This is about to happen. Again, thanks for joining me as well, guys. I know there's a lot of different channels to watch this. We started off the stream. We made a quick $400. I don't know if you guys partaked inside of the Solana trade, but we got in at the bottom. Had some good little FOMC volatility. We were able to lock it in real quick. And right now, the only trades that I'm looking for are going to be that 118. I want that 118 short. I'll probably do some low leverage, maybe throw, 2-3x leverage, maybe 30-40 grand at it and see what happens. This looks nasty, dude. This is nasty. This is nasty price action, guys. Look, it's just trapping everybody. She looks like she's coming down again, right at 114 300s. Quick little $1,000 drop. Boom. Very easy. Looks like my wife's going somewhere, huh? Everything's set up to stream with you. And I'm just watching the charts right now, guys. I'm watching the charts, watching Bitcoin on the other screen that I have here. A Cayenne Turbo GT. I'm not a big SUV fan, man. Me personally, if you're buying a Cayenne, awesome handling, stupid fast. I'm a Trackhawk kind of guy, dude. I would rather buy a 2021 Trackhawk. Just me. I'm a Porsche guy. I'm a, one of the cars that I will own is a 911 Turbo S for sure. I'll definitely end up owning a 911 Turbo S. But if you like SUVs, man, it's a nice one. And just for shits and giggles, man, I did take a small Bitcoin long. Another little scalp, guys. I don't know how this is going to play out, but we're up another 30, 40 bucks. If she comes up here, I'll make another 200. That way we get 600 bucks for the day. I'm just, again, no large positions. We threw 5,900 bucks, almost $6,000. A little 5x leverage. That way, if things start getting crazy, I don't start losing a ton of money, but just little scalps, little moves. See if she comes up here, tries to take out this liquidity up on top. At 116,300, what do we make it? 116. Yeah, 116 5 or 300 where my stop would be. 116 300, we make another $200, so that'll put us up at 600 bucks for the day. And then we'll wait to see, but these little scalps, guys, nothing too crazy. We're up another 50. Just little scalps, guys. I'm not throwing any crazy size, no big trades out of me, man. Crazy volatility right now. So let's see if this even comes up here. Bitcoin is fighting. Quick little scalps, man. And again, guys, if you're just joining us, we're watching the live trades as well as waiting for Jerome Powell to talk on the FOMC. There was a 0.25 rate cut. And now we're just watching Bitcoin's volatility. We're waiting to get into maybe a possible short right around 118, 300s. We started off the stream. We popped off 400 bucks on Solana. It was just a quick little live scalp. I'm inside of another live scalp right now. We're up another almost 100 bucks. So that's almost $500 for the day. But we're watching this Bitcoin volatility right now because this is dangerous, you guys. Very dangerous right now. Get in and out of these positions. Looks like price action is settling down a little bit until he talks. We got 3 minutes till it's time, till he starts talking. Looks like our another little scalp is playing out. We're up another 100, so that's $500 during the stream. Quick little $500, guys. And if you want to learn how to day trade, learn how to scalp, I call it the CryptoCrank radical scalp method. All right, we are in and out of these positions very, very fast. You will learn how to use proper risk management, learn how to find these levels to trade. We have a lot of my Coliseum members, which is my paid channel inside of our chat room right here. And a lot of these guys have picked it up, man. You can start off with $500, learn how to scalp, and start growing yourself a day trading account. You know, some of our largest scalps have been, I don't know, I think one of my largest scalp was 24 grand, $24,000 in less than 5 minutes. But we're trading with a large amount. And then we've done $1,000 to a $2,000 challenge in a day, $1,000 to a $10,000 challenge. All from scalping. And again, we scalp because we understand that the cryptocurrency market is very volatile, and a 10-15% pump with some leverage, you know, it's going to turn around on you. You are going to end up getting these 10, 15, 30% dumps in these days. So again, locking in these trades, understanding where to take them, having great expectations to follow through with your trade is another big thing. Again, guys, day trading, futures trading, forex trading, whatever you're doing, it's not about the money. It is all about your trading strategy, and can you mentally follow through with your plan? Managing greed. My expectations was to make $100, $200, $300, $4,000 on this trade, and if it keeps running, I don't care. I was right. I locked it in, and that's my expectation. That's managing greed, managing fear. When this trade goes south, how much money am I willing to lose to get out of this trade? Because I explained at the beginning of the stream, hope is not a strategy. Hope is not a strategy. What are you willing to risk? And if your idea goes wrong, you took the manageable loss. You will learn all of these things. We hold everybody accountable in the Coliseum. It is the trading arena to learn how to become a trader, learn how to be right. All right, looks like he's getting ready to talk. It does look like he's getting ready to talk. And I want to see what these guys are about to say, man. It's about to get pretty volatile right now, guys. It is about to get pretty volatile the moment he starts talking. I think this is where we're going to see that liquidity sweep on either the high side or the low side. We have our range. Looks like Bitcoin is coming back down. Looks like Bitcoin's ready to come on back down. Come on, Biddy. Biddy is fighting right now. Looks like Biddy's coming back down. Yep, she's tanking, man. She's going to end up coming back down to the bottom of this. Solana's tanking. The whole market is red right now. Not by much, though. So let's see what happens here with Bitcoin. And again, guys, if you're trading this, low leverage, low leverage, there are going to be surprises. You don't want a nasty runner to take you out. All right, he's talking. Why is this not working? I'm hearing him talk, but...
and that, excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 2.9%. These readings are higher than earlier in the year as inflation for goods has picked up. In contrast, disinflation appears to be continuing for services. Near-term measures of inflation expectations.
And again, guys, I don't have volume for you guys to listen to this. All I did was go to the
on news about tariffs, as reflected
the federalreserve.gov, and it's live on the website there.
Beyond the next year or so, however, most measures of longer-term expectations remain consistent with our 2% inflation goal. The median projection in the SEP for total PCE inflation is 3.0% this year and falls to 2.6% in 2026 and to 2.1% in 2027. Our monetary policy actions are guided by our dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. At today's meeting, the committee decided to lower the target range for the federal funds rate by a quarter percentage point to 4 to 4.25%, and to continue reducing the size of our balance sheet. Changes to government policies continue to evolve, and their effects on the economy remain uncertain. Higher tariffs have begun to push up prices in some categories of goods, but their overall effects on economic activity and inflation remain to be seen. A reasonable base case is that the effects on inflation will be relatively short-lived, a one-time shift in the price level. But it is also possible that the inflationary effects could instead be more persistent, and that is a risk to be assessed and managed.
Looks like Bitcoin's coming down, guys.
Our obligation is to ensure that a one-time increase in the price level does not become an ongoing inflation problem. In the near term, risks to inflation are tilted to the upside and risks to employment to the downside, a challenging situation. When our goals are in tension like this, our framework calls for us to balance both sides of our dual mandate. With downside risks to employment having increased, the balance of risks has shifted. Accordingly, we judged it appropriate at this meeting to take another step toward a more neutral policy stance. With today's decision, we remain well positioned to respond in a timely way to potential economic developments. We will continue to determine the appropriate stance of monetary policy based on the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. In our SEP, FOMC participants wrote down their individual assessments of an appropriate path for the federal funds rate, based on what each participant judges to be the most likely scenario for the economy. The median participant projects that the appropriate level of the federal funds rate will be 3.6% at the end of this year, 3.4% at the end of 2026, and 3.1% at the end of 2027. This path is 1/4 percentage point lower than projected in June. As is always the case, these individual forecasts are subject to uncertainty, and they're not a committee plan or decision. Policy is not on a preset course. The Fed has been assigned two goals for monetary policy: maximum employment and stable prices. We remain committed to supporting maximum employment, bringing inflation sustainably to our 2% goal, and keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Our success in delivering on these goals matters to all Americans. We understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission, and we at the Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you. I look forward to our discussion.
Great. Thank you. Chris Rugaber at Associated Press. As you know, Fed Governor Stephen Myron has continued, kept his position at the White House, even as he's joined the Fed board. This is the first time, I believe, the Fed's board has had someone with
kind of price action on
branch ties in decades.
Monday morning,
Does this compromise the Fed's independence from day-to-day politics?
Cool.
And relatedly,
show the cranksters something cool, man. What's going on here?
Perception the Fed is politically independent with this dynamic. Thank you.
So we did welcome a new committee member today, as we always do, and the committee remains united in pursuing our dual mandate goals. We're strongly committed to maintaining our independence, and beyond that, I really don't have anything to share.
Okay, and then just as a quick follow-up, I'm sorry. Can you and other Fed officials have spoken extensively about the impact of tariffs on inflation, although perhaps with many companies appearing to eat the tariffs, tariffs may be impacting the labor market and other parts of the economy instead. Do you see that as a possible outcome here, that tariffs are the reason we're seeing some slowing, particularly in the labor market, rather than in inflation? Thank you.
You know, it's certainly possible. You know, we're beginning to see, we have begun to see goods prices showing through into higher inflation, and actually the increase in goods prices accounts for most of the increase in inflation, or perhaps all of the increase in inflation.
No crazy price action right now, which is good.
Those are not very large effects at this point.
Not blown out of my trade,
and we do expect them to continue to build over the course of the rest of the year and into next year. And you know, it's also possible and that there may be effects on employment, but that I would say if you're looking at why employment is doing what it's doing, that's much more about the change in immigration. So the supply of workers has obviously come way down. There's very little growth, if any, in the supply of workers. And at the same time, demand for workers has also come down quite sharply, and to the point where we see what I've called a curious balance. It's, you know, typically when we say things are in balance, that sounds good, but in this case, the balance is because both supply and demand have come down quite sharply. Now demand coming down a little more sharply because we now see the unemployment rate edging up.
Nick Timrose of the Wall Street Journal.
Bitcoin is
economic conditions and
very,
the balance
very
of
close,
risks
guys,
no longer
to the bottom of
warrant
that
a
range.
restrictive policy setting.
So I don't think we can say that. But what we can say is this: that over the course of this year, we've kept our policy at a restrictive level, and people have different views, but a clearly restrictive level, I would say. So, and we were able to do that over the course of this year because the labor market was in very solid condition with strong job creation and all those things. I think if you go back to April and now look at the revised job creation numbers,
maybe we get all the price action whenever Donald Trump talks.
You can I can no longer say that. So what that means is that the risks were clearly tilted toward inflation. I would say they're moving toward equality. Maybe they're not quite out of equality. We don't need to know that. But we do know that they've moved meaningfully toward greater equality, the risks between the two goals, and that suggests that we should be moving in the direction of neutral, and that's what we did today.
Under what circumstances would a larger than 25 basis points rate cut be warranted, and how seriously was that option entertained at your meeting this week?
There wasn't widespread support at all for a 50 basis point cut today. You know, I think we've done very large rate hikes and very large rate cuts in the last 5 years. And you tend to do those at a time when we feel that policy is a place and needs to move quickly to a place. That's not at all fate and see.
Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Give me a second here. What's going on here?
In place. I guess I'm just, trying to square the shift in the rate forecast in the SEP.
And there we go, guys. Bitcoin is coming down to the bottom of the range. While we're waiting for that real quick, Bitcoin is coming back down to the bottom of the range. Let's see what happens here. Line in the sand is going to be 114.4. 114.4. But she is not bouncing at all. Let's refresh this page and see what's going on here.
Kind of in place. I guess I'm just, trying to square the shift in the rate forecast in the SEP towards more cuts than just 3 months ago, with the fact that the forecast for unemployment didn't change.
Yeah, I think you could think of this in a way as a risk management cut, because if you look at the SEP,
what is going on here, guys? Everything else is working except for the government site.
actually, the projections for growth the next actually ticked up just to
118 for a long target. If you want a Bitcoin long target, then 118s, man, are the tops. There's a lot of liquidity up there. We got a golden pocket retracement, but Bitcoin's tanking right now, man. Bitcoin is coming down to the bottom of the range. It is not holding, man. Everything looks like dog shit. I don't know what's going on with the Fed side here. It's not wanting to play correctly for me here. But yeah, Bitcoin's dumping right now, man. This thing's I'm glad that we took the Solana trade, guys. We locked it in. I'm already out of my Bitcoin long. I got into that Bitcoin long right there, and I've already been stopped out. Lost a quick $100. I am not throwing any size at this, you guys. What is going on here? Come on, you fuck. Let's go.
Actually, the projections for growth the next actually ticked up just to
Why is it wanting to play back? I keep hearing this shit. And Bitcoin's still coming down, guys. Line in the sand is going to be 114,400. All right. Listening to this is just dog shit, man.
Let's
go back over here. Let's go to the there you go. Let's see if this works here. Is this thing showing? There we go.
Thanks so much, Elizabeth Schulze with ABC News. The latest inflation report shows that prices are still going up across key categories for many households, including groceries. What will the Fed do if prices pick up more?
So our expectation, and you can see this consistently through the year, has been that inflation will move up this year, but that the effect, basically because of the effects on goods prices from tariffs. but that those will turn out to be a one-time price increase as opposed to creating an inflationary process. That's been our forecast. Pretty much all the individual forecasts say that. We can't just assume that though, right? We have to, our job is literally to make sure that that is what happens, and we will do that.
Bottom of the range, if you're going to try
to
long it.
The situation we're in is that we see inflation. We continue to expect it to move up, maybe not as high as we would have expected it to move up
all over the place.
A few months ago. The pass through of the tariffs into inflation has been slower and smaller. The labor market has softened. So the case for there being a persistent inflation outbreak is less. And so that's why we think it's time for us really to acknowledge that the risks to the other mandate have grown and that we should move in the direction of neutral. So what will we do? We'll do what we need to do, but we have two mandates and we try to balance them. For a long time, our framework says that when our two goals are in tension, this is quite an unusual situation. How do we decide what to do? Because our tools can't do two things at once. What we do is we ask which is farther from, how far is each from the goal and how long is it expected to get to the goal? So, and then we think about those things and we see, as I mentioned, our policy had been really skewed toward inflation for a long time, really. Now we see that there's downside risk clearly in the labor market, and so we're moving in the direction of more neutral policy.
How concerned are you about the slowdown in the jobs market for households at home, especially younger Americans struggling to land a job?
So it's an interesting labor market, and obviously we think it's appropriate that we reduce our rates so that we become more neutral, which presumably will be better for the labor market.
God, I really thought that this thing would pop up.
You see people who are sort of more at the margins, so kids coming out of college and younger people, minorities are having a hard time finding jobs. The overall job finding rate is very, very low. However, the layoff rate is also very low. So you've got a low firing, low hiring environment, and the concern is that if you start to see layoffs, the people who are laid off there won't be a lot of hiring going on. So that could very quickly flow into higher unemployment. In a healthier economy, healthier labor market, there would be jobs for those people. But now the hiring rate is very, very low. So that's been a growing concern over the last few months. And it's one of the reasons why we think it's appropriate that we begin to shift our policy focus toward a more balanced one.
Steve Leisman, CNBC. Mr. Chair, in the past, during rate cuts, you used the word recalibration. And I wonder if you pointedly did not use it this time. And in fact, when you said policy is not on a preset course, did you mean that as sort of the opposite of recalibration? Are we meeting to meeting, data point by data point? Are we in the process here of getting back to neutral?
I think we're going to get the volatility. Who knows, guys?
So I think we're in a meeting by meeting situation. We're going to be looking at the data. Let me say a word about the SEP really here. So we often point this out. What the SEP is, it's an accumulation of the individual projections of 19 people, showing what they believe at a particular moment in time to be the most likely path for the economy and thus the appropriate path for monetary policy as well.
That they've been doing for the
and
last
as you know, we don't debate or try to agree on what that is. We just write them down and accumulate them. We do sometimes discuss them. And so we always say we're not on a preset path, and we really mean that. The actual decisions we make are going to be based on the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks at the time the decisions are actually made. So you will have seen that we have 10 participants out of 19 who wrote down 2 or more cuts for the remainder of the year, and 9 who wrote down fewer than, in fact, in a good number of cases, no more cuts. So rather than looking at this as certainty, I would encourage people, as always, to look at the SEP as through the lens of probability. And so there are different possible outcomes and likelihoods rather than this one is certain and this one isn't happening. So that's what I would say.
Thank you for getting to my follow-up question, which was, is the dispersion in the outlook a sign of uncertainty of policy in the meetings to come? Thank you.
You know, it is such an unusual situation. Ordinarily, when the labor market is weak, inflation is low. And when the labor market is really strong, that's when you got to be careful about inflation. So we have a situation where we have two-sided risk, and that means there's no risk-free path. And so it's quite a difficult situation for policymakers. And it's not at all surprising to me that you have a range of views. It's not so much about having different views for the path of the economy, but it's partly that. But it's also partly about what's the right thing to do in light of the tension between the two goals. How do you weight them? How worried are you about one versus the other? And so it's natural. I think it would actually be surprising if you didn't have a pretty wide range of views based, in this kind of highly unusual situation, and we do. So, but we get together, we discuss, we have a great discussion, and then we decide what to do and we act. But you're right there that it's a wide dispersion of views, and I think that's understandable and natural in the current situation.
Hi, Victoria Guida with Politico. You've talked a lot about Fed independence and the importance of it over the years, but as markets have questions about what exactly President Trump's intentions are with the Fed, what would you point to as the things they should be watching to determine that the Fed is still making decisions based on, the economic outlook rather than political considerations?
Look, it's deeply in our culture to do our work based on the incoming data and never consider anything else. That's just everybody who's at the Fed really feels strongly about that way. So, you'll know it by the way we talk about what we're doing, by the speeches that people give, by the decisions that we make. You'll know that we're just still going to do that. That's all we do. And we don't frame these questions at all or see them in terms of political outcomes. I think when you get to another part of Washington, everything is seen through the lens of, does it help or hurt this political party, this politician? That's the framework. And
we got to keep on keeping on, man.
That is not at all
Joe
the way
Dirt
we
style.
Think about things at the Fed.
What
We're taking
bummer.
a longer perspective.
I really thought we might have been able to short 118.
Serve the American people as best we can.
Maybe long 113,
So
114.
I think you would be able to tell. I don't believe we'll ever get to that place. I would say we're doing our work exactly as we always have now. And people they're making their arguments, and we're having a great discussion around these challenging issues. So,
do you see the court case around Lisa Cook as being related to questions of Fed independence?
A little golf clap, Corey.
I see it as a court case that it would be inappropriate for me to comment on.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Edward Lawrence from Fox Business. So we saw the preliminary benchmark revisions down 911,000. The revisions for June were the first negative revisions we've seen since December of 2020. How can the Fed base important decisions on rate and what to do with the interest rates on data that seems to be, as you've called it in the past, noisy?
So on the QCEW, the revision that we saw was almost exactly what we expected. It was amazing how close the expectation was. So, and the reason for that is, for the last bunch of quarters, there's been almost a predictable overcount. And I think the Bureau of Labor Statistics really does understand this, and they're working hard to fix it. It's got to do, of course, it has something to do with low response rates, but it's also got to do with what's called the birth-death model, because a good amount of job creation happens around new companies, and how many go out of business, how many are founded. And it's just really hard. You can't survey for that. You've got to have a model that predicts that. And it's quite difficult to do, especially when the economy is undergoing big changes. So, and they've been working on that and are making progress on it. But the data we get is still good enough for us to do our work. To the extent we have issues around data right now, it's about low response rates. That's happened all over really. Response rates are just lower to surveys now, both in and out of the government.
Or nothing. I mean, if we're
and it's no great secret. We want higher response rates, and we need those to have less volatile data. And the way to get that is to make sure that the agencies that collect the data have sufficient resources to drive higher response rates. It's not a complicated problem, but that's what it takes. It's not a mystery. That's what it takes. The other thing I'll say, Edward, is
at the bottom.
In the case of the job creation, the response rate is quite low for the first month, or lower for the first month. By the time you get to the second or third month, you're still collecting.
I would like to see Bitcoin, since we're this low, just to swipe the 114,
and you get to
200s,
the place where the data are much more reliable by the second, certainly the third month. So it's not that we don't get the data; it's just that we get it a little later.
For the benchmarks, if that holds, it's 51% of the jobs that we thought were there weren't really there. Shows a weaker job market coming into this year. If you had had that information, would it have changed your mind related to where the interest rates should be? Should there have been a cut earlier?
You know, we have to live life looking through the windshield rather than the rearview mirror, as you know. And all I can tell you is we see where we are now, and we take appropriate action. And we took that appropriate action today.
Thanks. Howard Schneider with Reuters. So as you mentioned a minute ago, some margins of the job market would suggest that the slide's already happening. Black unemployment rate in August was above 7%, declining work week, difficulty among college graduates finding work, rising youth unemployment. Why do you think a quarter percentage point now is going to arrest that?
Well, I didn't say that I thought a quarter point would make a huge difference to the economy, but you've got to look at the whole path of rates, right? And markets has already been baking in expectations. I mean, our market works through expectations, right? So I think our policy path really does matter. And I think it's important that we use our tools to support the labor market when we do see signs like that. I did mention that, you know, you see minority unemployment going up, you see younger people who are more vulnerable economically, more susceptible to economic cycles. That's one of the reasons, in addition to just overall lower payroll job creation, that shows you that at the margin, the labor market is weakening. I would also point to labor force participation. Some part of the significant decline in labor force participation over the last year has probably been cyclical in nature rather than just the usual aging process. So we put all those together, and we see that the labor market is softening, and we don't need it to soften anymore, don't want it to. So we use our tools, and you know it starts with a 25 basis point rate cut, but the market's also pricing in a rate path. I'm not blessing what the market's doing at all. I'm just saying it's not just one action.
As a follow-up to that, the growth mix right now seems very concentrated in investment and on the consumer spending side in the higher income groups. Do you feel that that's an unsustainable mix for the economy moving forward?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, you're right. Those are two. We're getting unusually large amounts of economic activity through the AI build out and corporate investment. I don't know how long that will go.
Well, we're up another $200. I mean, I took that. I don't know if you guys. I told you I was taking the Solana trade book. We're cooking. We're up $600 for the day. $600. We'll take $600 if I closed it out now, huh? Fuck it. I mean, it's there. I mean, we're making a little something on a nothing burger. I really thought I was in for some freaking fireworks, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, just waiting for something cool, man. Show me something crazy. Bitcoin's barely moving. I mean, if Bitcoin popped right now, straight up, I would say let's rock and roll, man. Come on up here, back to this 236.70. What do we make at 236.70? I don't know if we're gonna get there, but 236.70. We make another 4, so that'd be $1,000 during the stream. I mean, for some little scalp and chills, I doubt it, but let's see. I mean, this looks like a clear downtrend. Bitcoin needs to pop. Bitcoin's weak as shit.
Secretary says, or really any other
no
officer says.
We just got a big ass.
So in terms of reform at the Fed, we just went through a lengthy and I think very successful process of updating our monetary policy framework. I would say there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes around the assets we have in the Federal Reserve Federal Reserve System, and at the board. Are they the right size? We're actually going through a 10% headcount reduction through the whole Fed, including the board and all the reserve banks. The employment at the Fed at the end of that will be basically at the same level it was more than 10 years ago. So we will have had zero job growth for more than a decade when we're finished with that. And I think we'll probably do more than that. So I think we're certainly open to constructive criticism and ways to do our jobs better.
Not an independent review?
We're certainly open to, to always trying to do better.
Trade's cooking. We're up another $500, guys. We're up $900 for the day. Quick little $900 if we closed it out now while we were streaming. Come on, man. Come on up here. Yep.
My view, which is also a bit of a guess, but widely shared, I think, is that you are seeing some effects, but it's not the main not the main thing driving it. And so particular focus on young people coming out of college. And yeah, there may be something there. It may be that companies or other institutions that have been hiring younger people right out of college are able to use AI more than they had in the past. That may be part of the story. It's also part of the story, though, that job creation more broadly has slowed down. The economy has slowed down. And so it's probably a number of things. But yeah, it's probably a factor. Hard to say how big it is.
Quick little Solana long. Solana.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. What evidence do you see of tariffs showing up in inflation?
Well, if you can take goods, just sort of the broad goods category. And last year, goods inflation was negative. If you go back 25 years, that was the typical thing, was that goods inflation was, goods prices generally went down, even adjusting for quality. So that was not the case during the pandemic, of course. Goods inflation went very high, but we had essentially returned to zero or slightly negative inflation. Now, I think goods inflation over the course of the past year is 1.
$530 on the books, guys. That's 900. If I just closed it out right now, I'm gonna let it ride. I mean, we'll let it ride. Come back up to the top of that range. Come on, Biddy. I'm waiting for Bitcoin to show us something cool.
Really, the companies that sit Bitcoin between the exporter and the consumer. So if you buy something and you sell it through retail, or you use it to make a product, you're probably taking a lot of those costs on and not able to pass it fully along to the consumer yet. That appears to be what we're seeing. You guys are watching.
Thank you for joining me. I know there's a lot of other channels to watch this shit.
All of those companies and entities in the middle, they'll tell you that they have every intention of passing that through in time.
Another one. But we did one at the beginning of the stream. We're up another $600 here. Depends on how this rolls, man. It's all based on Biddy. If Biddy can get one more little squeeze, then this will come up to the top of that range. That'll be $1,100 for the day during the stream. If you guys want to learn how to scalp with me, I call it the CryptoCrank radical scalp method. We're just watching Bitcoin. Bitcoin came down to the bottom of the range. Solana came down to the bottom of the range, so I took the long again. Get into my free Telegram group, guys, and then eventually make your way into the Coliseum, which is my paid group on Patreon. But again, we're waiting for Bitcoin to just pop a little bit, man. Just one more little pop, and we can close out this trade.
This does not enter
Bitcoin
the room.
is fighting right now.
But
Bitcoin
one of your
right
new colleagues does come from this world, right, where everything is seen through this framework of
juice in her, man, then this trade will
of
end up
politics and of what party is being helped, and that person is still employed by the White House. How can markets and the public interpret, some of his speeches, for example, and then some of the forecasts that we see today? I mean, the median for this year was moved because of the introduction of his forecast. I'm talking about the number of rate cuts seen this year. What do you say to markets and the public that are trying to interpret, what you guys are saying?
So there's 12 vote, 19 participants of whom 12 vote, as you know, on a rotating basis. So no one voter, can really, the only way for any voter to really move things around is to be incredibly persuasive, and the only way to do that in the context in which
trade's cooking. We're up another 730, so we're up $1,200, guys. $1,200, $1,200 on the trade between our two trades during our FOMC meeting. If you guys took this trade with me, we are coming up into the TP points right now. Here and here. It's all going to be based on Bitcoin. Everybody get a good stretch in, listening to this bullshit, huh? Big nothing burger. There we go. Our trade's cooking, though. Trade's cooking. We're up another 880, guys. Here we go. So that gives us almost $1,400 for the day. $1,400 live streaming. If you guys would like to learn how to scalp with the CryptoCrank radical scalp method, get into my free Telegram. Come on. We're cooking, baby. Quick little $900. You guys think, should we close it? Lock it in? I already know what Lou's going to say. Lou's going to tell me you lock that fucker in. Bitcoin's struggling right now. I might say lock that fucker in. Let's do, let's see here. Bitcoin needs to do one more pop. My target was right up into this, but high, lower high, lower high. I might just want to lock this in, actually. Let's see. Come on, Bitcoin. One more little push, baby. One more little push. Come on, Biddy. You're right there. Come on, little babe. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, guys. I might just have to lock it in. There we go, Biddy. Here we go. Come on. Okay, we're having a hard time right now. Come on, Solana. I don't like this. Low, higher, low, I mean, lower, low, lower, low. This needs to pop with Bitcoin. Otherwise, this thing is... Come on. We got almost $1,400, guys, during the stream. I'm trying to... I mean, just come on up here, and I might just close this thing, but she's fighting. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. If you guys want to learn how to scalp with me, join my free Telegram. It is free. I go live with you guys. I will show you how to do this, how to do these scalps. All right. We might want to close this here because Bitcoin's losing steam. Solana's losing steam. 236.10. Let's just close this out. Why not? What do we got here? 236. All right. Locking it in, guys. What's going on here? We closed that trade, guys. Very nice trade. We have locked in almost $1,400. We locked in almost $1,400 during the stream. I'll take it. $1,400 during the stream. We might as well just turn around and short this bitch too because Bitcoin is losing steam right now. Let's go ahead and close this out here. We'll just close this out here. 115, 540. We'll close this out. Let's go back to Solana real quick. She's fighting here. I closed my Solana trade, guys. If you're still in it, your only hope right now is that if Bitcoin pops, look, there she goes, you bastard. She is fighting right now, man. And again, if you're watching on X, guys, please subscribe. I appreciate the support.
Striking that measures of kind of activity and output for the third quarter, those that we have seem pretty strong. The Atlanta Fed's GDP now is very strong. You mentioned strong PCE numbers as well. How do you square those things? Is there a chance actually could be upside risk to the labor market if those activity measures are right?
Well, that would be great. We'd love that to happen.
Hope you guys made some money. It's a good
so
stream. I mean,
I don't
I'll
know
take
that
it,
you
guys.
see a
It was
big
very
tension there,
subtle.
but it's gratifying to see
We made
that
quick
economic activity
$1,400
is
over the
holding
last,
in. It's
we've been live for an hour
it's a
and
good
40
a good
minutes.
bit from consumption. It looks like
Really,
consumption
the trades
was
were in the
stronger than
last,
expected.
30 minutes
What
since
we
the
got
beginning of the
earlier
live,
this week,
40 minutes.
I guess.
We were
But
live for
and
an
also
hour and a
we're
half,
getting
but
a fairly
quick
narrow
little
sector is
$1,400. Ain't nobody
producing
gonna sneeze at that.
a lot of economic
Y'all
activity,
think,
which
man.
is the AI
What do
build
you
out
all
and
think, man?
business investment. So
I should have taken the slow short.
we watch all of
thinking
it,
about
and I would say
Don't wanna be too greedy.
we did move up. The
Still got
median
Donald
for
Trump.
growth for this
I'm
year
sure we'll
actually
catch another
moved
little
up
scalp.
in the S&P between the June and September
I'll take our little
SEPs.
our
So
1,400
and really the
pranksters.
inflation and labor market
Again,
didn't change much.
thank
It's really
you
the
for joining
risks
me
that we're
on
seeing to
X
the labor market
and YouTube. Get all
that were
serious
the
about
focus
it.
of today's
I need the support.
decision.
If you guys want to learn how to do these scalps,
Hi, Nicole
surround
Goodkind with
yourself
Barron's.
with
Thank you for taking my
a lot of other
question.
traders and people that are
Given
involved in
the
crypto. Got
cumulative
bugs over here.
impact of high interest rates on the housing sector, I'm wondering how concerned you are that current rate levels are exacerbating housing affordability issues and potentially hindering household
They say
formation
that the
and wealth accumulation
First
for a segment of
1,000
the
followers
population.
is the hardest, and then from there,
Housing
I feel
is,
like,
is
you guys
a-
remember
an
the movie
interest-sensitive activity.
My dad always
So
said
it's at the
always
very
uphill from
center
here.
of monetary policy. When the pandemic hit and we
tells
cut
your
rates
dad's a
to
fucking
zero,
idiot 'cause it's always downhill from here 'cause it's
the
easy.
housing companies were incredibly grateful, and it was really, they said that was the only thing that kept them going, was that we cut so aggressively and provided credit and things like that, and they were able to finance because we did that. The other side of that is when inflation gets high and
Golly,
we
it's
raise
already 1
rates,
o'clock.
and
I'm hungry, man.
you're
I
right,
still gotta go
it
to the
does
gym.
burden
We popped
the
off a
housing
quick
industry.
$1,400
and,
during the stream.
So rates have
I
come
like
down
it
a
a
bit,
lot.
and as that happens, we don't set mortgage rates, but our policy rate changes do tend to affect mortgage rates, and that has been happening, and that'll of course raise demand. Lower borrowing rates for builders will help, builders will help supply. And so some of that should happen. I think most analysts think that it would have to be pretty big changes for it to matter a lot for the.
And I'm
big
watching
changes in
again. I'm
rates
watching
for it to
Bitcoin.
matter
I
a
am
lot for
watching
the housing
Solana.
sector. And
I'm gonna see if
the
we
other
can
thing
catch
is
any
by
other action while
by
we're
achieving
live here.
maximum employment and price stability, that's a strong economy. That's a good economy for
Today
for
I am
housing.
hitting legs.
And then the last thing I'll say
I am
is,
sore from my chest. my
there's a
arms
deeper
already,
problem
man.
here.
Today I
There's
got
not
legs,
a cyclical
so I'm
problem that the
excited.
Fed can address, and that just is a pretty
Work
much
out the legs,
nationwide
man. Go
housing
walking like a
shortage.
penguin.
Or a lot of places in the country just don't have enough housing for people, and all of the areas around metropolitan areas like Washington, for example, are very built up, and so you're having to build farther and farther out, and so that's where it is.
And just a quick follow-up, during the last SEP or the press conference following the last SEP, you seemed to indicate that policymakers lacked conviction about their projections, and I'm wondering if you still feel that way.
Forecasting is very difficult even in placid times, and as I've mentioned before, forecasters are a humble lot with much to be humble about. So I think right now is a particularly challenging time, even more uncertain than usual. And so I don't know any forecaster anywhere, really. Ask any of the forecasters whether they have
This looks like Betty's
great
getting ready to
confidence in their
pop, man.
forecast right now. I think they'll honestly
see if she
say
does.
no.
Thank you, Chair Powell. Jennifer Schonberger with Yahoo Finance. If you're cutting rates, why continue to reduce the size of your balance sheet, then pause the unwinding?
Well, I think we're cutting the size of our balance sheet quite marginally now. As you know, with the balance sheet, we're still in an abundant reserves condition, and we've said that we would stop somewhat above somewhat above an ample reserves level. That's where we are, and we're getting closer to that. We're monitoring it very carefully. We don't think that has at all significant macroeconomic effects.
Sol looking like she's ready to pop off too.
Moving around.
I'm looking at Sol. I'm looking at Biddy. If Biddy pops right now, Sol's going to nuke this area.
The level of runoff is not.
It's all right.
Not
It was
very
a good
large,
trade.
so I wouldn't attribute
quick
macroeconomic
scalp,
consequences
quick
to that.
$800.
And at his
$900.
recent confirmation hearing, Stephen Myron brought up that the Fed actually has 3 mandates from Congress, not just jobs and stable prices, but also moderate long-term interest rates. So what does Congress mean by moderate long-term interest rates? How should we understand that when we see the 10-year Treasury moving? And how do you think about this part of the mandate when policy choices like rate cuts or balance sheet reductions affect the long end of the yield curve?
So we always think of it as the dual mandate, maximum permanent price stability for a long time, because we think moderate long-term interest rates are something that will result from stable inflation, low and stable inflation, and maximum employment. So we haven't thought about that as for a very long time as a third mandate that requires independent action. So that's where that is. And there's no thought of, as far as I'm concerned, there's no thought of considering that, considering that we somehow incorporate that in as something in a different way.
We just don't think about it. Yeah, good answer.
Thanks, Chair Powell. Matt Egan from CNN. We recently learned that average FICO credit scores are down this year by 2 points, the most since 2009 during the Great Recession, and delinquencies are high for car loans, personal loans, credit cards. How concerned, if at all, are you about the health of consumer finance?
Bitcoin doesn't pop here and she comes on down. I'll encourage that too. Why not?
So, we're aware of that. I think this default rates have been kind of ticking up, and we do watch that. They're not at a level, I don't believe they're at a level where overall they're terribly concerning, but it is something that we watch. Lower rates should support economic activity. I don't know that one rate cut will have, a visible effect on that, but over time, a strong economy with a strong labor market is what we're aiming for, and stable prices. So that should help.
Just to follow up, this rate cut is coming at a time when the stock market is at or near all-time highs, and some valuation metrics are elevated historically. Is there a risk that cutting rates could overheat financial markets, potentially fueling a bubble?
We're tightly focused on
That's probably the best question that's been asked. We're doing rate cuts during a market that has all-time highs.
So we take the actions
Could we see a bubble?
that we take with an eye on those goals.
Best question that's been asked so far.
And that's why we did what we did today. Separately, we monitor financial stability very, very carefully. And I would say it's a mixed picture, but households are in good shape, banks are in good shape. Overall, households are still in good shape in the aggregate. And I know that people at the lower end of the income spectrum are under pressure, obviously. But from a financial stability perspective, we monitor that picture. We don't have a view that there's a right or wrong level of asset prices for any particular financial asset, but we monitor the whole picture, really looking for structural vulnerabilities. And I would say those are not elevated right now.
Jean, we'll go to you for the last question.
Hi, Chair Powell. Jean Young with MNI Market News. I wanted to ask about inflation expectations. You've said the Fed can't take the stability
Solana.
of inflation expectations for granted. You mentioned at the short run they've gone up a little bit. I wonder if you can talk a bit about that. And then also at the long run, wondering, do you see evidence that the debate over Fed independence and the growing deficit is putting pressure on inflation expectations?
So as you said, shorter-term inflation expectations have tended to respond to near-term inflation. So if inflation goes up, inflation expectations will predict that it takes just a little while to get back down. Fortunately, throughout this period, longer-term inflation expectations, both break even in the markets, and almost all of the longer-term surveys, Michigan being a bit of an outlier lately, have been just rock solid in terms of running at levels that are consistent with 2% inflation over time. So we don't take that for granted. We actually assume that our actions have a real effect on that, and that, we need to, continually show and also discuss our commitment to 2% inflation. And so you'll hear us doing that. But we're, as I mentioned, it's a difficult situation because we have risks that are both affecting the labor market and inflation. Those are our two goals, and so we have to balance those two. When they're both at risk, we have to balance them, and that's really what we're trying to do. I don't. Your latter part of your question was about independence. I don't see market participants. I don't see that that's something they're factoring in right now in terms of setting interest rates. Thanks very much.
All right, he's done.
I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people. While the unemployment rate remains low,
really it
has edged up.
I think I'm done listening to this fool. Let's get back over here to the charts and let's see what we got cooking right now. Give me just a second, guys. Let's go back to share my screen. Let's get back onto TradingView. We can see that Bitcoin's fighting. No big crazy volatile action. It was all right here at the very beginning of the stream. All right. Now that he's done, let's see let's see what happens here over the next I don't know, 15 minutes here. I think I got with you guys. I'll hang out for a little bit longer. It's been a good stream so far. We have locked in $1,400 during the stream. Great stream so far. Again, $1,400, guys, while we just locked it in. Quick scalps. If you guys took those trades with me, it was killer. Absolutely killer. I'm still looking for the Bitcoin short right around 118 and change, just depending on how fast we get there. If we slow climb and we get up into that range, then I'll probably yeah, I am looking at the Sol short too, man, but I'm waiting to see what's going to happen with Bitcoin. One thing about Solana and Bitcoin. So let's just go over here and we'll look at the charts real fast. Let's go to Solana. Let's go to Sol. We can see that this has just been over. Let's just go to like a 10-minute. This is sideways action right here, guys. Just a good accumulation. This is a ton of sideways action right in here. You can see that this is our range, though. Solana, this is our large range that it is trading in. It is short territory, but if Bitcoin breaks out, then I do assume that this is going to break out as well. But you can see this clear range that we came into right in here. So it's all going to be based on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin breaks out, then I think that Solana will end up breaking out as well. But yeah, valid short. Probably keep a stop right above at 239s, 239 and change. Bitcoin right now also is inside of this large range. You can see we had this range that's been going on for almost 5 days of price action in here. We came down to the bottom. We did come down to the bottom of this right in here. So most likely we probably will come back up to the top, which is going to be at 117,200. Now that all the action's over. Yeah, look, Solana's pumping. So yeah, I am looking to maybe take a quick short on both. All going to be contingent upon Biddy, though. Solana's ripping right now. You can see Solana is cooking. She's coming right up to the top of this range. She's blasting. Let's see what happens here with Bitcoin. So let's get prepared to see if we can take a trade. Man, if we would have held that Solana long, man, been cooking, probably would have been up almost $2,000. That's all right. We'll take it. It's a good trade so far. Yeah, look, if Bitcoin does any more of a pop right now, then we're going to end up getting some good price action. But yeah, I probably right now would be the time to be taking that Solana short. Take this Solana short right here. But it's all, if Bitcoin pops, man, you're going to get stopped out pretty quick. But yeah, valid short. You can see multiple times rejection, rejection, rejection. Bitcoin is holding on by a thread right now, trying to fight. Damn, it's all contingent upon Biddy right now, man. And Biddy's climbing. She looks like she's probably got another little swing up, I would guess. And I think it was a great stream, guys. If you guys like the content, if you guys can please follow me on X. Like it on YouTube as well. Would greatly, greatly appreciate it. I have links to get you the fees for zoomex tier 4 fees. And then you also have my my link to get into the Telegram, the free Telegram, guys, where I go live. We do these trades. We do these scalps. Yeah, it looks like Solana's getting ready to pop, man. Bitcoin. Let's see what's going on here. What's up with ETH? ETH is also its decision time, man. Can it work out of this? Jeez. You can't listen to normal music, man, on can't listen to normal music on YouTube. We could jam out. Try to catch another trade here. This copyright shit, huh? All we can do is listen to trap beats. Let's see if we can get to any other trades. One last trade, guys. Bitcoin's coming down right now. Let's see. Should we take the Solana short? Solana is at the top right now. Let's see what Biddy does, man. If this thing turns around and pops back up, then Solana's got a shot. Boom, Solana's cooking. see what happens here. I feel like we're just going to get some hard green candles here, man. We haven't seen any good hard green candles. Nothing but just down and to the right, some boring price action. There goes Solana trying to break out. If Bitcoin can just take any of this out right up in here, any of this, Solana has a good chance of just cooking. All contingent upon Biddy, though. And if Bitcoin decides to just make its way back down anywhere to this to the bottom of the range, then Solana also has its range. Man, it's all eyes on Biddy right now. Should we just fire off a bunch of shorts here? Let's see. There we go. It does look like Bitcoin's going to get a little pump, man. Let's see. All right. How long have we been streaming? We have been on exactly 2 hours on the stream. It's 1:35. There we go. The 10-minute on market cipher showing that this thing's getting ready to break. I mean, money flow's coming in. Momentum's getting a little weaker to the downside. I think everything's getting ready to have a nice little pop. Donald Trump's getting ready to speak. I do think that we're getting ready to have a nice little pop here. You know, ETH is at that breaking point as well. ETH is right there at the breaking point. Same with Solana. Solana is trying right now. Everything is just fighting. All contingent upon Biddy. If we do come back down to the bottom of this range, I'd say maybe we should take a long. Donald Trump's going to roast this dude. Tell him 0.25 is not enough. Let's look at X real quick. Solana's looking the strongest. She's looking like she's ready to recover. Just a little spurt right up into here. 241s. Remember, that was my original target at the beginning of the stream. Solana on the 5-minute is getting ready. Momentum's coming up. Golly, guys, we just don't have any good price action. No big movements. This is very choppy, man. This is just... It is straight fighting, you guys. Try to get on out of this. Bitcoin is just no big moves. Other than this little stream dip. Chop, chop, chop. Straight fighting right here. No big moves yet. I mean, Solana's been the strongest. She's holding up at the top right here. If we look at Sol, look at her. She's ready to... this looks good on Solana. She's ready to... Man, this totally looks like she's ready to trumpet. Trumpet up and out of here. Trumpet out of here. Especially if Bitcoin gets a little pump, but... There she goes. Same thing right here with same thing with ETH. ETH is strong. ETH is looking like she's ready to trumpet, guys. She's probably coming all the way up here to 241 is what we talked about, 241. What's AVAX doing? AVAX has been really strong as well. AVAX is fighting out of this. You guys can see that AVAX slow climbing right on out of this as well. All contingent on Bitcoin right now, guys. I think I'm gonna call it a stream, guys. It's we made $1,400 during the live stream FOMC meeting. No good price action, no crazy price action right now, and yeah, I think we'll go ahead and call it a stream, guys. I might be doing a late night scalp and chill again. We'll get back in and see what we can catch. Again, I'm looking for the Bitcoin short 118s. If we come down to 114,300s, that's going to be the big level for us. If you're watching on X, if you guys could please follow, like, subscribe. If you like the content, watching us do the scalp and chills, greatly appreciate it, guys. Be safe out there. Protect your capital. You guys have a good day. I'll see you guys later.